Here was an article out of Russia Today entitled "Kissinger Warns of West's Fatal Mistake That May Lead to a New Cold War." And this guy's been around for a long, long time, doing insider deals with other nations and really kind of leading America to where it is now, which is really into a new world order type of situation. It all, to me, it kind of began back in the 70s with him. Back in the 70s, I can remember Henry Kissinger doing backdoor deals with the Chinese in order to begin to move our industry offshores and outsource our industry to China, and not just China, it's other places too. But it was started a long time ago, this outsourcing. I mean, everything that you buy almost has a made in China or a made somewhere label on it. Indonesia, Mexico, Pakistan, Vietnam, Malaysia, I mean, you name it. Rarely does it say made in USA, does it? Well, a lot of it is because of people like this. And to go on, back in that same era of time, Kissinger was also setting up the OPEC deals and setting up the Petro-dollar system, and by that I mean he went to the Saudis and said to the Saudis, "We will buy your oil if you will purchase our debt," basically, because America had pretty much gone broke, or was in very, very much danger of going broke due to the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War was extremely expensive. President John F. Kennedy knew that, and knew that what it would eventually lead to, which is, in my opinion, one of the reasons he was shot and assassinated. But after removing him from office, the plan went forward, and the United States eventually went off of the gold standard, which I think was another thing that maybe Kennedy was attempting to prevent, was this banker cabal move to remove the United States from the gold standard, which Nixon did. That was accomplished. And anyway, as time went forward, you can see now that where we're at. I don't know what the deal is. I know that if the Saudis and the Chinese and the Russians and whoever else is holding T-bills, if they just all of a sudden dump those T-bills, it would cause an enormous problem for the United States. The United States would have to not only reverse QE, but they would have to literally probably print more money or digitally print more money or whatever, more than they ever have, because nobody's buying the debt. And in fact, if everybody just dumps their T-bills and dumps the American currency, we're in trouble. And I wonder sometimes if that is why John Kerry went to Saudi Arabia lately, here recently. I can't remember when it was. It's been back here in the last few weeks, and I'm not sure quite what that was about, but I'm beginning to wonder if that is about saying to the Saudis, it's not time to dump T-bills, and if you do, there will be severe retaliation or whatever. So I think this may be what is going on, and the United States can be really backed into a corner if things begin to move too quickly. And I think that also, America, in a post-petrodollar world, America is going to have to be energy independent. It can be no other way. I think that's why that Keystone pipeline is such obviously an issue. And from my knowledge, they still have not voted to authorize the, to open up that Keystone pipeline, or to build it, or whatever they need to do. That Keystone pipeline will be able to bring oil from places like Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, where they have discovered this massive amount of oil that they will have to get to through unconventional means. It is the deep oil drilling that they're going to have to engage in to bring this oil to the surface, kind of sort of similar to what they did in the Gulf of Mexico, which I believe was a trial run to kind of try this deep drilling. But this deep drilling by rigs such as the Liberty rig in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska, would be able to accomplish this. And then, of course, the Keystone Pipeline would be the mechanism to transport the oil to the States. And the price of oil is not going to be $40 or $50 a barrel, I can assure you. When this happens, at least it was the vision of those oil elitists in charge to have oil somewhere between trading somewhere in the range of $150 to $200 a barrel by the time that this plan, is to be put into action, this Keystone Pipeline. So things are moving along. I don't exactly know for certain that that's the case, but it makes sense, at least in my mind, that they can't have the Saudis or anybody just out there yet dumping T-bills, because they're not ready, unless this is Obama's agenda, is to just literally throw this country into a tizzy, which, we already know he doesn't like America. We already know about him. We already know about Barry Soetoro. We already know that, we know what his mentality is toward this country. It's, or at least what they want us to believe his mentality is toward this country. But irregardless, if the plan is just to throw this country into utter turmoil and to bring about some sort of a collapse so that he can be dictator forever, well, I guess that's another scenario. I don't know. I'm just reading the news. Well, anyway, so much for that. And there was another article earlier that I was reading on, let me see if I can pull that up right quick. It was regarding cyber attacks. Here's one talking about, this is a January 5th article talking about Russia sanctions must be lifted now. Because the United, and this is coming from Germany, mind you. No, I'm sorry, it isn't. It's coming from France. But they're talking about how this, the Russia crisis isn't necessarily good for Europe, and I don't, know really what to make of all that. I'm not the geopolitical expert, but things are heating up. I can say that, and I know that when things get really crazy, such as they very well could, they'll take us to war. There's no doubt about it. What will be the cover for any kind of banking holiday, currency collapse? I believe it's cyber attacks. I've been saying that for a while, and there sure does seem to be a lot of news about cyber attacks. So I read articles about that just about every day. Now, whether that'll be the mechanism, is that the false flag? I don't know. 2015 is going to be a really interesting year. There's a lot of pressure on the dollar. So anyway, irregardless of what they tell you, all is not well. Take care.